Good afternoon. Thanks for joining this probationary exam flight for United Virtual. We're here at Dullas International Airport performing a closed circuit flight in a United Airlines Boeing 737-800. This is a PMDG aircraft for P3D version 4. Today's flight's going to be a rather quick one, but very necessary. We'll be doing a closed circuit flight for over Dulles International Airport, departing runway 19 left, climbing runway heading about a 191 heading up to 6,000 feet as our cruising altitude. We'll wait 10 nautical miles and turn right heading 280. I'll be using the RML VOR, and we'll cross radial 235 and then turn right heading 010 for our upwind leg. We're northwest of the field. We'll start slowing to 210 knots and prepare for arrival. We'll prepare ILS 19 left, communications. Passing radial 340, we'll turn right heading 100 and configure the aircraft for approach. We'll slow to 180 and descend to 3,000, which is our initial approach altitude for the ILS. Continue heading 100 until crossing radial 175, where we'll turn right heading 140 to intercept the ILS 19 left. Frequency, localizer frequency. So we're starting at cold and dark. So the next steps are going to be turning the aircraft on, getting it set for flight, and getting in the skies. Here we go. So first things first, in order to do anything, we get power on the aircraft. And I'll be switching through some panels. You can still see the buttons getting switched, or the switches getting turned. I just don't have any of that great video making technology. I don't do these very often, so or never. Can't say I've ever. So thank you, United Virtual, for getting me to try something new. Okay, so got our battery. Gives us power to the FMC, where we can start adding some ground connections. So our wheel chocks are set. Ground power is now connected, and we'll go ahead to get air conditioning on and remove the pitot covers. With that, we'll accept power from the ground, and then we will also get the frequency, or the AC for the voltage. Okay, now that's complete. Get my checklist going. Start getting the payloads correct, or updated on here. So move that and return. Our fuel today via the United Virtual release. Take off 26,825 pounds. So we'll get that. Zero fuel weight is 115.8. Gives us a gross weight of 142.6, which is good for our maximum landing weight. Make note of that as we start our planning. Okay, so we'll come back to this in a second. Let's erase out our emergency system here. Let's set the brakes. Set. Get the battery switch on. Standby power on, and the guard closed. APU's off. Let's set our IRS. So get those aligning. Pull up the FMC again. Position initiate. Use our last position. There we go. And while we're here, let's start plugging our route in, since it's real short. So we're doing origin airport is Dulles, destination airport is Dulles, and as we stated, our departure runway is 19 left. Go ahead and plug our arrival in as well. We're using the ILS approach for 19 left. We'll use the DADI transition to get the full approach in. And we'll activate and execute. Okay. Oh, we've got our weights, so let's go ahead and finish here. So we said our gross weight's 142.6. I said our departure fuel, or our planned fuel I should say, is 26.8. Reserves for this trip is 4.1. Cost index is about 24. So we will plug in our cruising altitude of 6,000. Execute that. Then have a regular takeoff. Release gives us flaps 5 departure. Got our center of gravity. So our V speeds are very accurate from PMDG as our release. Release states 134, so we'll go with that. VR is 136. V2 is 146. And of course, unable to cruise altitude. And our trim is 5.06, so we'll hold on to that. And while we're here, we'll start updating our, I don't know why that's up. Start plugging our, making sure our autopilot's preset, so turn on the flight director. Our first radial is 235, so we'll update that. So it's set when we depart. Our V2 is 146. Way off there we go. And departing heading by the updated airport chart is 191. And of course our cruise altitude 6,000. So we'll go ahead and plug that in. Alright, so the next step in the checklist has us turn on the APU, so let's go through that process here. We'll start out by doing our fire safety checks. Check for our lights. Okay. Our fire system bells. And then I can't get over here, so I'm going to bring it up on the panel. Make sure that we're all connected here. It's engines 1, 2, and the APU. All light up green. Alright, with that said, we will turn on the forward left fuel pump. Lights extinguished, and we'll turn on the APU. There we go. Took a minute for the EGT to start going. And it starts coming back down. And I'm going to do this on the panel, that way I can see the voltage. So we're looking right here. Watch this get to about 4,000 or 400. Just below it. And the lights come on. And we have good voltage. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn our window heat on. Our yaw damper. And our B pumps. Leading A's off. Electric. Alright. So we'll bring pressure to the ducts via the APU system. Let that stabilize. And turn on our pack system. Isolation valve is open. Alright, we can start removing things such as the air conditioning, ground power, and our chocks. Very good. Alright, reviewing the checklist. Check our lights. Position light is steady. Don't need a logo lights. Cockpit lights are good. Emergencies armed and guarded. Passenger signs are on. Okay. Just catching up the checklist. So our final altitude is 6,000 according to the most up-to-date Dullas chart. Elevation at the departure end of 1 on the left is 293, so we'll keep that at 300. Okay. Check our flight instruments, no flags. Good. Auto brakes set to RTO. Stabilizer trim, so let's go back and get that number again. 5.06. So basically we'll just leave it on 5. Bring the camera down so you can all see that. There we go. That's good. Alright, we'll do a transponder check. So let's work our way down to there first. We'll leave the radios on since we're not using that. The normal VOR 113.5, so let's update that with 113.5. Okay. Update our transponder to 2200 and we'll run the test.
TCAS test pass.
Alright, and since we're here, we'll do a weather check. Weather test.
Radar display. Go around. Wind shear ahead. Wind shear ahead. Wind shear ahead.
Okay. I gotta jump up to the top overhead panel. Back off that. Run these quick tests here. So, Mach airspeed warning. Stall. Good lights and service phones on. Come back down to the cockpit or to the front view. So our planned taxi route today is going to be, we'll be pushing back, going tail west. And we'll be taxiing to runway 19 left via Echo Kilo 19 left at Kilo 1. We're not that heavy, so we don't need all the runway there. Taxi, and then taking off, we'll fly runway heading, climbing to 6,000 at 10 miles. Downwind, we'll start our right turn. So taxi takeoff briefing complete. Alright. So, we're about ready to go. Get this camera right. As you can see, I don't make that many videos here. Get the jetway pushed back. Dock. Confirm. Not sure why it does that. It's not in the aircraft. Seems like the PMDG for P3D Volume 4 does that for some reason. Don't know why. And then we'll call the pushback crew in. We gotta wait for the jetway to finish. Oh, jeez. Gotta close the cabin door. Get that last minute paperwork. Alright, you know we want to tail left, so we'll do that. And it's dry, so we'll start the engines. We'll push back. While they're setting up, we'll get our anti-collision light on, and we will turn on all of our fuel pumps. And we are in good shape right now.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
So are we.
Locking gear. Departure check completed. Bypass bin inserted. Release marking brakes.
Brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, looking at the lower display here, we watch the N2. We want to see about 26 on the N2 before we introduce fuel. Turn the packs off. Watch that pressure drop so we can use it to the engines. Okay. Starting engine 1. Introduce fuel. I don't know why that button sticks sometimes. Pressure slowly rising. Alright. Starting engine 2. There's 26. Fuel. Pressure's rising. Slowly.
Set parking brakes.
Brakes are set. Two good engines. Test generator 1, good. Generator 2, good. APU bleeds are off. Left and right packs to auto. Isolation valve to auto. Probe heat on. No anti-ice is needed. APU generators off. Generators are off. Engine start selectors are off. Put the ignition to both.
Truck disconnected. Bypass bin removed.
Engine starts. Okay, so flaps set to. It's gonna be flaps 5. Auto throttle arm. So that's 5. There it goes.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Alright, so pushback's disconnected, so we'll shoot the 8 pumps. Lights extinguished. Controls, checking for, make sure they're free. So full right, center, full left, center, forward, center, aft, center, full left, full right. Controls are free. ECAS is good. We can shut down the APU. TCAS to TARA, and the taxi lights on. And we'll begin our taxi to 1 and left. Turn our VOR selector on. We got a good connection. Showing the read. Good. AML is what we want. Alright, coming up on 100 left at Kilo 1. So, pre-departure checklist. Engine selectors to continuous. Landing lights on. Strobe lights on. Traffic mode to traffic. We'll stop there before we cross that line. Clock, we'll set it to run. There we go. Transponder's good. Okay. So we're ready for takeoff. Arrival's clear. Departure's clear. Enter the runway. Okay. All systems checked. Emergency controls are off. Or no alerts. No caution. Let's run up to N1 to 4. Looking good. That's at 6. Toga. Positive rate, gear up. And off. Flaps 1. Flight director's coming alive. Auto throttle's on. Flaps up. Autopilot engaged. Alright, climbing to 6,000. And at 10 miles, DME from Armel, we'll start our right turn to heading 280. After takeoff checklist, landing gear is up, flaps are up, auto brake is off, engine start switches are off. Yeah, we're not leaving 10,000, so I'll pull the retractables up just for wind resistance. Keep the seatbelts on. No transition at altitude. Okay. After takeoff checklist complete. Approaching 6,000. And we'll go to view our navigation. We'll wait for that radial to bars start coming through the center. Oh, 10 miles. Turning right, heading 280. Alright, coming up on the radial here. Alright, start our right turn at 010. Start her up one leg. A little bit wider out than I wanted, but that's okay. Not by too much. Alright, new course. .40. on the up, and I'll pull up my approach plate. That was that loss of sound there momentarily. To switch screens. Alright, we're just about to beam to field, so start our descent or our approach checklist. So the ILS 19 left has an initial altitude of 3,000. The transition we'll use is Daddy. We'll start our descent at Izumi down to 17,000 to be at 17,000 by, 1,700. 3,000 down to 1,700 at Domsey, and then we'll be on the glide slope. A heading of 1901. Due to our lighter weight, probably aim for a flaps 40 approach. Get that set. Good on the gross weight. So approach briefing is complete. Auto brake will be 2. Localizer on the approach is 110.1, so we'll put that in there. It's just a short while here, so we get that last radial. This approach, climb to 800, and climbing left, turning to 3, left turn, and then climb maintain 3,000 on a heading of 010. Start slowing down. Let's bring it down to about 230 for now. descent down to 3,000. Over terrain. See some mountains, some hills out there. We'll call them mountains. There we go. We're descending, so landing lights on, speed brakes armed, seatbelt signs are on, altimeter set, and engine selectors are on continuous. Before landing, checklist complete. Getting close here. Slow it down to 210. Alright, start our turn to 100. That's better. I'm going to be in the turn once we cross the radial. Alright, switch the frequency over to the localizer, 110.1. Both navigations. Oops, 110.1. Okay. It's back on the map. Oh yes, wait a second, I need that old radio back. There we go, because I need 175. See what that looks like. Oh, there we go. And then once we cross this radial, we'll be heading 140 until we establish on the localizer. Alright. Now we want to switch over to the localizer frequency. Slow it down to go 190 right now. Switch back to the map. Change that back. There we go. Just maintain this heading until we pick up the localizer. flaps here. Flaps 1. Alright, we picked up the localizer. Slow it down to about 180. Get flaps 2. And get flaps 5. Never a huge fan of that pitch. Alright, bug's moving, so let's get the approach going. There we go. Turn it in, slow it down to about 160. Airport's in sight. Let's turn the rest of the lights on here. Taxi on. Tractables. Okay. And we have the runway in sight. the heading book to the final approach course. Alright, let's bring the speed down to the reference 140. Get another. Could be flaps 15.
Can we come in?
Drop the landing gear. Landing gear down. Flaps 35. 3 green. Flaps 40. And my control. My aircraft.
Hey, Mama!
Get up your second foot day for you too. You have a pull-up one out.
Minimums, continuing.
Whenever you wait,
Reverse. Speed brakes. 80 knots. Clean it up. Alright, I'll exit right on Alpha 7, Kilo 7.
Is that okay?
Okay. Landing lights off. Engines start switch to off. Taxi back to the gate via Juliet. Planning Delta 12. Let's get that on her. And GSX loading. There we go. That's strobes off. APU. Start. Probe heat off. Check. Auto brakes are off. Speed brakes down. Flaps up. Set the clock. Turn in left on Delta. Ah, I went to the wrong side of the terminal. So just pick a gate here. This one's a jet bridge, so we'll go ahead and use this one. So parking brakes. APU. Generator. Good. Shut down engines. Turn off the beacon. Release the seatbelts. Call the jet bridge. Wait, it's C3. So 3 through C3. Alright. Stop blind, I gotta turn the taxi light off. APU bleeds. On. So we'll turn off the fuel pumps that we don't need. Hydraulics, and it turns the A's off. B's. Oops. There we go. And open the isolation valve. There we go. Flight director off. Clear ECAS. Well, thank you very much for going on this journey with me. It's probably not the most interesting thing you've ever seen, but it's a start.